We're talking about local SEO today. There are two kinds of SEO in local SEO. There's informational pages and there's GMBs. So let me show you in Keyword Spy how you would do keywords for local pages. Okay, so we were talking about local SEO and GMB SEO. For local SEO, you need the sheet, right? This is this sheet acronym. You need the semantic keywords on your page. You need the helpfulness magic words. The AI can find those for you. You need the expertise magic words. You need the experience magic words. You need the authority magic words. You need the trustworthy magic words. And you need the magic words to show that you're timely. Google will not rank you unless you have all of these things. The sheet is the stuff you need for your on-page, and that's the stuff that a super smart AI, an advanced AI, not the free AIs, but an advanced AI like Keyword Spy can help you get. And the interesting thing is you could think about this not only for your pages, which is just like SEO 101 period, just ranking a page, but you could also think about the sheet and how AI can help you with that for your GMBs.
One thing I always like to bring up whenever people do searches like a local plumber, I've noticed that it seems that from someone doing a search that might be looking for like one plumber or versus a search that might be give me a host of options or things that might give me options like review sites. So just going like local plumber, I sometimes find brings more of like the plurality results of that.
Yes.
But if you're actually like, plumber company or plumber for hire, I see more businesses that are actually like have, hiring pages, and more local ones. So keep an eye out for that whenever you are targeting these terms. Chances are you probably won't beat out a review site like Yelp or whatnot, and you might find less competition on those more narrow terms.
Yeah, for sure. That's a great segue, Ryan. I just chose local plumber just because that was just the first
Totally.
local SEO thing that came to my head, kind of a deal.
Totally.
But yeah, I mean, who would search? I mean, I guess some people would search local plumber. Let's
Yeah.
find out. So what Ryan is talking about here is something that we take very seriously in our super smart SEO consultant in a box Keyword Spy. I would go here to keyword discovery. I would start here and I would put in my seed keywords. I'm going to go through this really quickly. And in fact, I would do like, okay, just Victoria, BC. Who just searches this in Victoria, BC? Get results. Okay, so we're doing local plumber. Now, what it's going to do is it's going to get me all of the local keywords here and do exactly what Ryan said. It's going to find me the easiest niches here to rank for. When it's done, it'll be done here quite shortly. Boom. It'll find me all the easiest keywords to rank for that people are typing in this exact area. So that exact area, of course, is important. So near me, plumber, plumber near me, plumbers near me. This has the highest keyword ROI. It says this is the most people searching it. Basically everybody who lives here is searching it every month. I don't know if those numbers are correct. Those numbers look like they've been having a 10 added to them, I think. A factor of 10 added to them, I think. Emergency plumber. There could be 165,000 searches for this a month. I don't know if that's necessarily the case. I think that's probably, but it seems to be consistent among all of them here. But this is where you would find the ones that have the most money and that are hot this year. And that would be theoretically the best ones. It might also not be done. I shouldn't really be showing it before it's done, quite frankly. But anyway, you would go through here and you would check to see which ones have the most money behind them, which ones are hot this year. Hot water repair near me is up 144%. That's interesting. And you'd find the right keywords that you want to rank for here. First is what you would do. And that is, again, 75% of the battle. I cannot stress how important this step is. That's why we have it at the top here and we say start here with a base or seed keyword and use advanced AI to discover the most lucrative and easiest keywords and niches to go for. Plan your money pages out and your topical clusters. It is super, super important to have the easiest keywords to rank for here. If you choose the wrong keywords to try to go for, ones that are super difficult, you're going to have no end of trouble in trying to rank. If you choose the right keywords, you will succeed. If you choose the wrong keywords, you will fail in local SEO, as Ryan just said. So you definitely need to search in your area you want to rank for, which is where I am. You got 3,000 keyword ideas out of this, right? Just saying local plumber, it got 3,100 keyword ideas, which is pretty good. And it'll be checking the difficulty. It scrapes a lot of different databases to do this. That's why it takes some time. And the AI needs to calculate this and process this and think about it. But it'll be done usually no longer than 5 minutes for any given keyword. So let me show you the one that's been done here. So here's another local one I did for Winnipeg neighborhoods. And the keyword difficulty is already done. And you could sort it by keyword difficulty. Or you can sort it by final ROI, which is the return on investment for this keyword because it has the most money behind it and the most searches and it's the hottest. That's keyword ROI, your return on investment. And then it has the final ROI, multiplying that by the easiest difficulty times this. But if you want to find the absolute easiest difficulty, which in this case ends up being safe neighborhoods in Winnipeg, which is a really good local query to rank for, quite frankly, especially if you want to do rank and rent sites and you want to rent this site out to a real estate agent in Winnipeg. Winnipeg wouldn't be the first city I would start with for this because Winnipeg is not the richest of cities. But, if you know Winnipeg really well, if you're a subject matter expert, you could pimp out this content really quickly and you could rent this out to a realtor and you could make, whatever it is, $400 a month, $500 a month in the Winnipeg area. And you could rent it out to a bunch of different real estate agents and you could get their MLS listings on there. You just hand the keys over to them, hand the passwords over to them and say, okay, here's your site you're renting. Do whatever you want with it. Don't break it because it'll cost you for me to fix it for you. And then you just make money, just passive recurring income by ranking out this site, by ranking the site and then renting it out to a real estate agent. And safe neighborhoods in Winnipeg would be a great keyword to do that for, by the way. So rank and rent is another great strategy, and it's also a great local strategy as well. In case you guys haven't seen my videos on that, go back in my YouTube and watch the other videos we have on that. It's a great recurring passive income that you do all the work up front, and then you just make money. You just sit back and make money on it. And AI can definitely help you pimp out those pages, find the right keywords to begin with that are the easiest, and pimp out those pages right away. And you want to see how easy it is? This is what the AI looks at. It checks out these key factors to determine the difficulty, and it checks out these key factors to determine the difficulty of how hard it'd be to rank there. And this is super easy. With an average difficulty of 15%, we guarantee that if you follow our processes on a healthy site that's on the same topic that you're trying to rank for, if you have a general neighborhoods in Winnipeg site and try to rank this page, I guarantee to you on a healthy site that doesn't have anything wrong with it, if you follow our methods, you will come in at spot 16 to 26 roughly is where you're going to come in. That's because we know that it's pretty much add 10 points to this difficulty and that's the range you're going to be in, really, quite frankly. And we found this out with testing thousands of pages now at this point. So that's where the difficulty comes in, and you can find that pretty easily. You just run one of these reports really quick. Sometimes they take a little bit longer when the system is super busy, but you got the idea here, back here for Winnipeg neighborhoods. You can see the difficulty is super easy, and you can pick those pages and you can rank for them. And then you just pick the first 10 or whatever it is. And then what you would do is you would run a keyword report. A keyword report, or keyword spy is what it's called here. You could do single pages or bulk pages. Very simply, you enter in your keywords you want to rank for, that people are searching. You enter in the location if you want to. You say whether you want it to auto-generate an article for you, and you just say go. Ranking pages is good enough for 90% of ranking pages. If it's super competitive, it's like 40% or over, you choose that, and you just say go, and then it'll give you a report. The report gives you some great information. It can give you information that could be really important, that could be really telling. These are the actual AIs that Google uses, like the BERT transformer they use, for example, which will tell you what these are the entities that are important for BERT. These are the entities important for RankBrain, neural matching. These are the actual AIs that Google uses that you actually need to have keywords for. I'm not going to go over all this because we're going to keep it short. You would find all these keywords. You'd go to results at the end. You go to results at the end, and I skipped these pages. I didn't do test 2 or 3. I did support pages instead for this one. But it would add up all the scoring from the term weighting test and the first BERT test. It would add up all this scoring. It would range up to 34 if I had done these tests. It doesn't matter for the purposes of just showing you how the pages work. You see some are reduced because they're not as related in terms of our transformer that we've built for you. We actually built you a transformer model for this, an actual transformer that does term weighting, just like TW-BERT does, and it's going to give you the actual weightings. It's going to tell you which ones that should be reduced a bit, which ones that should be a little bit higher, and we score them just the same way that Google does. This has 1 to 4 points, this has 1 to 10 points, this has 1 to 10 points, this has 1 to 10 points, or up to negative 10 points, and then you get a final score, and that will change the importance of the entities you should be using in your page. Now, here's where it gets interesting. So if you're doing page SEO, you would go finally to the editor, and I've already done this particular page, for example. You'd go to the editor and you'd click generate article. it would generate you an article auto-magically. And then what you would do is you would just play around with the content until you got the content score in the green here. You see the heat score is really advanced. It's 81%. It's way above the competition. And it has a really good heat score. Look, it has 8s, 9s, and 7s in terms of like, will someone reading your content leave feeling like they've had a satisfying experience? Yes. Does your site have a primary purpose or focus? Yes, the page does. Does the content have any spelling or stylistic issues? No. It has a 9 out of that, 9 out of 10. Does the main heading or page title avoid exaggerating or being shocking in nature? Yes, it does. So these are the things that Google actually asks you for your heat score for being helpful and showing the expertise, experience, authority, and the trust. We are the only AI that has a heat score that works like this, that asks the actual questions that Google asks in like, I don't know, there's like a good 30, 40, 50 questions here. It asks you all these questions and it gives you a general score out of this and also scores your competitors. So you know that you are more helpful than them and you know that you have a better article than they do, quite frankly. And then last but not least, it looks at the average predictability word length, which is this important stat and this important score need to be in the green for it to rank really well. This one's not in the green. And it gives you the words as well. You don't need to match the words. As long as you have this score here and this score here, you probably should be fine. And the more in-depth keyword report you do, ranking pages is fine. I did support pages for this, but ranking pages is fine, and very competitive niches is the full in-depth testing where we build all that stuff out. Now, basically, when you're working in the editor, so you just click Generate Article, you'd select whether you want a high-quality article or a quickie article, you put in the author, you tell where in the sales cycle you are, you decide whether you want the URL, title, meta description, and the heading, and you click continue, and it would generate the whole thing for you, right? And it would take 5 minutes, 10 minutes tops, depends how busy the system is. So you can go get a coffee, you go get a beer. It takes 5 or 10 minutes tops. You can crank, 8 of these out a day easily. 10 of these out a day you can produce. You can produce 50 pages a week easily using this system, right?
With only one login, but you can get multiple logins, right? Like, can you have you have agency plans for this?
Oh yeah, there's agency plans as well. With agency plans, you can have up to 3 users. If you need more users than that, just email us. We can help you out. We can see what we can do. But I mean, it depends on how many employees you want cranking these out. That's one person cranking out 10 articles a day. You could have 3 cranking out 10 articles a day. That's 30 a day. That's 150 pages per week you could crank out. It could be one rank and rent site you crank out per week. You can do that, right? Quite easily with the system. And it gets all the semantic keywords in the right places. You can check the spread of the keywords here. You can go look at the phrases that you're missing. You can look at the words that you're missing, look at the score and see, okay, look, I've got all the higher powered, I've got the EMQ in there once. It's already highlighted for me in the H1. I don't have it in the rest of the page. You could decide whether that's keyword stuffing or not. It's up to you. Join SEO University to learn the recs behind this. Also, some of the guidelines will be built into Keyword Spy as we go on with an SEO Copilot. But I don't want to, everyone has a different philosophy of SEO, and we don't want to step all over your philosophy of SEO. If you like to stuff a bunch of EMQs in there, whatever, go ahead. But we show you how many are in there, and we show you how many your competitors are using, which in this case is 0. So you can decide, what you think is safe there, but we give you all the information to make your own decision. We're not Keyword Spy. The job of Keyword Spy is not here to tell you how to do SEO, to tell you how to do your job. The job of Keyword Spy is to do most of it for you, and to increasingly do more and more of it for you, but giving you all the power to select, however many you want in there. You could put as many in there as you want. In the URL, and the title, and the description, it's totally up to you. If you want to know about our reverse engineered tests of the science behind how many you should use, email me and you could join my private mastermind group, which is a separate company from Keyword Spy, but is where all the engineering of Keyword Spy comes from. You can join Underground SEO University. Just put secret sauce in the email and I can give you a discount on Underground SEO University. Also, if you're already a paying member of Keyword Spy, a monthly paying member of Keyword Spy, I also will give you a huge discount on Underground University, SEO University as well. I can possibly do that. So if you want to try Keyword Spy for free, just go to trykeywordspy.com. Again, that's trykeywordspy.com, and you could try it free for 2 weeks, no credit card needed as well. Okay, so You're like, okay, Josh, well, how do you do the local SEO with this? Well, it's very simple. This is what you would do for a page. You put it in your page, you rank. But this could also help you, the reports here, as you can see, have a multi-purpose usage, right? You go into the reports, into the results, and here is all your phrases and keywords that you want to be using. Here is all the phrases that you should be using in your GMB and reviews, right? And here is all the words you should be using in your GMB and in the reviews. Because the keywords here, the entities here are going to be important for both. And you could think of your GMB like it is a page. Ryan, what do you think of that method, and how would you modify it and increase it?
So I love the idea of you talking about putting these terms and things like reviews, but I think these terms can be put into more things than reviews, like Q&As. So like on GMBs, I'll go in there and like we'll do fake question and answers on the forums, and we'll try and put in these entities there. We'll make posts scheduled out on our GMBs that we try to put these entities in. It's good to kind of salt and pepper them in other areas of your GMB, and even better if you can somehow link that back to like a page in your site to really draw that big prominent entity map for Google. I think that's a great tactic. And I think this is a super handy tool, especially when you think about processing this out so that you could have a VA kind of do it and key it out. Definitely something that will set you apart from the competition, and being that most people have access to decent on page now just because of tech. That would be something you definitely want to include in your day-to-day.
Awesome. I think in the Q&As and everything else that you're putting up in your GMB, I think these keywords, not only are they going to give you the semantics that you want, but they're going to give you the query intent, right? They're going to give you the helpfulness of what people are particularly looking for those specific kinds of local queries. And sometimes you think it's easy, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes you're not sure, when they search for example, you're not supposed to do this, but I did this just yesterday. Let me see if I could show it to you here in reports. When you search for best lawyer Winnipeg, Manitoba, which you're not supposed to do, because quite often in law, you're not supposed to say that you're the best lawyer, because apparently in some cases, I'm not a lawyer, I can't give legal advice, but apparently in some cases, some lawyer clients often ask SEOs not to say that they're the best because it opens up the lawsuits. I'm telling you right now, the lawyers in Winnipeg apparently don't care. They are trying to rank for best lawyers in Winnipeg, Manitoba. They're saying they're the best lawyers all day long. Apparently they don't care at all, which I found hilarious.
Yeah, I can definitely test that every law client I work with, we have rules that we can't put that they're experts. The best one is I've only noticed that in like Canada mostly, but I know some of them, they'll have like maybe 2 title tags on their site, and they can say, oh, well, I didn't know that was my title tag. I have it set to this and maintain plausible deniability. But yeah,
That's a sneaky trick.
yeah, but yeah, it's so funny.
Okay. So the other beautiful thing is that you're like, okay, well, then am I allowed to say this? And if so, how can I say it? And there's another one here that's find a lawyer in Winnipeg to help with your legal needs, right? Which is not claiming that they're the best lawyer. Or you're like, also, should I brag that I'm the best lawyer? Should we say in the title tag, we are the best lawyers in Winnipeg, Manitoba? Or should it say, find the best lawyers in Winnipeg, Manitoba? And that is actually the query intent that BERT is looking for. Our remodeled transformer for BERT is saying, no, this is how you should serve the query intent. And so you get all of this tallied up here in your results page. And that's why the results page is important, because this is where the SEOs who have the experience, and this is where you separate the pros from the amateurs, and they're going to come in here and they're going to tailor it to the exact right, find a lawyer, find the best. They're going to choose the exact right query intent, both for their pages and their GMBs, and they're going to find the exact right words, right, in terms of defense. Defense is really high here. It might not be relevant to what you're doing, but it's really high. Criminal is really high here as well. It's almost synonymous in terms of the number of points that it has here. So if I had done the term weighting test here, this would look slightly different, actually. It would have moved these up or down. But right now, the data is telling you, look, defense and criminal are very important here in terms of law, lawyers, and attorney is not important up here at all either. So if you're thinking you should be flowing attorney up here, the case is here like, no. It doesn't rank highly at all in any of these tests, quite frankly. And so there's one here in the phrases. You can see it's the lowest ranked lowest scored phrase. So if you're like, where does attorney show up? You can do a quick search for attorney, and it's all the way down here. It only has 10 points. It is no way. It's not good for this. It's not powerful in terms of this BERT test. It's not powerful here in terms of this neural matching or rank brain test. And so it's very interesting. Some words you thought would be very important for a particular niche actually end up not being that important at all, based on our reverse engineering and our remodeling and our reconstruction of the actual AIs that Google uses for you. And there's no other tool that will tell you this. And otherwise, they would say, yeah, here attorney is an entity. Go ahead and throw it in there, but you really shouldn't, according to our tool, you really shouldn't be throwing it in there in terms of the page ranking or the GMB ranking.
Yeah, and I think previously on the show we mentioned technically an attorney is different than a lawyer. And for those of you that don't know, an attorney is someone who actually goes to court and like represents you in front of a judge or whatnot. And a lawyer is someone who can give you advice and write contracts. So there's a difference in there. So I'd be curious if you wrote like best attorney, what would, if you'd have a whole different host of things that might show up. I wonder if Google has that understanding of the difference of the terms.
I guarantee that they do, and I guarantee that it would. Our system would see the difference, and you'd get a whole different spectrum of keywords here. It'd be completely different. The landscape would be totally and completely different based on all of that information. Okay, so Ryan, I just going to ask you a quick question. We didn't discuss this beforehand, so if the answer is no, that's perfectly fine. But to put you on your spot, is it possible you could go into a GMB and show us how and where you would stuff the keywords? Is that possible?
Possible today, maybe not today, but maybe on like a future show.
Okay, sure. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
So on a future show, this is what you would do. I said we had to do a short show today anyway, but this is basically where it would come from, guys. Either you would be here in the editor. Let me duplicate this. You'd be here in the editor. This is where you would write the content. You would go through our tour here to get information about how the editor works. A super easy tour. You would come in here and you would generate an article. You would just click generate article, and you make sure that your numbers here are where it is you want them to be. I've got this article here, which is pretty good already. It's pretty close to where the numbers you want them for this number. It could be a little bit lower. It's a little bit too predictable right now. It needs to come down 0.13. 0.13 words on average per sentence. Predictability needs to come down to 4.1. The competitors are 4.12, so you definitely want to go a little bit lower, which interestingly is exactly the number we see it needs to be at. 3.9 to 4.11 is exactly the average ranking, the average word predictability of spot 1 and 2 in Google across the board. And our heat is, we do have a more helpful article. There's some that are low, we could get a little bit better, but you can run this content here. You can produce this content for your GMB here. Right? You can just copy and paste this into various places in your GMB in terms of an FAQ, in terms of a Q&A. You can definitely come into here, and you can go into here into content, close entities, go into helpful content, and you can just start doing a Q&A in here in terms of what you want to have, like pros and cons. That could be a Q&A you could generate. I could write it, and then the pros and cons will show up. And you could pop it in here. You could check the keywords, how dense it is. You can use this as more of a work source, right? I can add it here. Boom. So now I've added it. So let's remove this. I hope I'm not messing up anything I'm doing for a client right now. I'll remove this, and I'll go in here and I'll say, look it. Now you run the content score on this again, and you see, okay, it's 18%. It's 18 dense in just this section. Great. Okay. Now I can come in here and I can see, all right, in the entities, what entities am I missing, right? Let's show the missing entities and see, okay, I don't talk about the top lawyer in Winnipeg. I don't talk about the best lawyer in Winnipeg. I don't tell them how to find the best lawyers. So if you want to find the best lawyers in Winnipeg, pros for finding the best lawyers in Winnipeg. There we go. Now I've added that in there. Now I can come back here, I can redo this, and the score is going to be higher now. Boom. Mm-hmm. And that's how you would boost the score in, and you would just copy and paste this kind of Q&A content and other kind of content that we can automatically produce. You just copy and paste it in your GMB. Ryan, what do you think about that?
I like that. And I think one of the things that the lawyers like about when you say pros to finding the best is that when you're not calling yourself the best or you the expert, and technically like you're not at fault for any compliance stuff. This is also what some of my clients have portrayed. So it's a great idea. And I think if the things you list in here also are kind of highlighted as what the company represents and other parts of their page, then they'd be like, oh, I'm already on the best lawyers page. I should call these guys.
Exactly.
So
Yeah. Now, again, just to reiterate, we're not lawyers. We cannot give legal advice. Nothing here to be construed as legal advice. But if your client is telling you, hey, that works for them, then hey, that works for them, really, at the end of the day. Another thing you can do is you can audit your competitors' GMBs. Take their GMB content, paste it in here, and run the content report and run the heat report. And then you can also run a quality report here too to see if it's AI generated, right? You can check to see and snoop on them and see if it's AI generated. And then that way you know whether, oh, I got a better heat than they have. Oh, I have a better content score than they have. This is how you would use the editor as kind of an auditing tool for GMB content and information. You could post your reviews in here. You could post your answers in here. You can make sure it's keyword dense. You can make sure you're saying the right entities by going here to content and checking out the entities that you're supposed to be using and seeing the top ones that would be scored the highest, like law firms in Winnipeg. So that would really help you out there as well. So that's another way you can pimp out your GMB using the information here. You could also just go here to the results page. You can copy the words. You can export the CSV, give it to your writer or your guys or gals who produce your GMBs for you and say, here, use these phrases at the top, the highest scored phrases. Stick to the find the best lawyer's query intent because that is the desired query intent. And then use these words here and make sure, if you want to check it to make sure you're better and denser than the competitors, paste it here into the best lawyer, into the right report here for editor, and just check the content score and check the heat score against our competitors and make sure that we're comparable. That'd be another great way of using it there.
that is definitely almost exactly how one of the ways that I currently optimize it. I'll pass on all those entity terms. Sometimes with clients that we work with, we'll post to their GMV, but they have a Facebook and they have all these other pages. And through like one tool, we can kind of post all the same content. It might not be like the same social content, but we try and sprinkle these entity and really core terms in all aspects of their assets to kind of draw that big mind map.
Exactly. And at that point, don't stop there. Why stop with GMBs? Do your social posting, do your Facebook posting, put them in here, make sure they're more helpful and have more keyword dense. All those keywords are going to build up, right? For all your backlink pages, for all your reference pages, make sure they're keyword dense and they're helpful, right? Mm-hmm. I told you, for anything on page, including backlinks, which people think is off page, but they're on page because all that semantic builds up. You need the sheet, right? You got to have the sheet, which is, again, the semantics, the helpfulness, the authority.
Oops. The bigger the sheet, the better you rank.
The bigger the sheet, the better you rank. Oops, there we go. I didn't want to make all that an H1. Paragraph, boom. You want the sheet here. You need to have the semantics, the helpfulness, the expertise, the experience, the authority, the trust, and the timeliness. And then that is a lot of really, really, really advanced pro tips there for you and how you could pimp out your GMB and pimp out your pages as well. Make sure you have pros and cons. Make sure you have this information for all your local queries. Okay, so we got to run. Let me check quickly to see if there's any questions. Kickanap says the search location is actually just the country, correct? Even when you select Victoria, BC, it's just showing all Canada currently, correct? It could be.
Correct.
If
it is. I checked that out. It is.
Oh, that's why. Okay, yeah. So that's definitely a bug. We'll need to take a look at that. There's AdWords can definitely do the different locations. So thanks for noticing, Kicking Apps, very much. That's part of the reason why we have the low price of $144 a month right now, because we're still in beta, although we're like 95% done beta. It's very close to being the production-ready release. That's why we're giving it such a low price for such a robust tool that can do so much for you. You can optimize your pages, you can optimize your GMBs, you can optimize your backlinks, you can optimize your social posts, you can optimize everything in this. And so it's a very robust tool. We're building in an audit feature. We're building to audit pages and audit sites, backlink building feature. We're building in an SEO Copilot. We're building everything into this damn thing. So definitely get in on the ride now and get in on the grandfather price. Go to trykeywordsspy.com and try free for 2 weeks without needing any credit card whatsoever. Gabrielle says, vouch for the group. Awesome. Thank you, Gabrielle. I totally appreciate your vouching for the group. Yeah, we take SEO very seriously. Steve says, EMQ, excellent mushroom quesadilla. Now I'm hungry for mushroom quesadillas with a little bit of cheddar in there. That could be nice. That could be nice. Maybe a bit of cream cheese too. That could be good. No, Stephen, you know that EMQ stands for exact match query. EMQ is for the exact query you want to rank for. Plumbers Nanaimo is the search they're searching in, and that's the query they're typing in, and that's the exact match query you want to rank for. It's the exact thing you want to rank for. That's what EMQ stands for. All right, folks. Well, with that all being said, here, let me go back to here. Look at me change things. I know how to change things in this thing. Barely. I barely know how to change things. It's not working. Oh, never mind. I won't change it. I don't know how to change anything in this thing. Why is Zoom not behaving? All right. So you are allowed to make fun of me of not knowing how to use Zoom. I will admit it. You are allowed to make fun of me of not checking OBS to make sure that my microphone is set correctly, although every other time it has been. I don't know why I changed all of a sudden. But when it comes to SEO and AI knowledge, we are undoubtedly the finest in all of the YouTubes. If you have any SEO questions, let me prove it. If you have any SEO questions at all, email me at joshpashinsky@gmail.com. I'd be happy to give you 5 minutes SEO questions. I'm happy to help you out. I have saved businesses. I can save your business. I can boost your SEO. We can do it in Keyword Spy for your on-page. It is the best on-page tool. Go to trykeywordspy.com. Try it free for 2 weeks. Check your keywords out in Keyword Discovery. Run Keyword Spy to find all the boosting keywords. Use the boosting keywords everywhere and use the editor to write pages. The AI can do it for you in 5 or 10 minutes, or it can generate all the other subject matter expert content you could use everywhere. Your GMBs, on other pages, on your Facebook posts, your social posts, your reviews, your Q&As, and maybe your backlink pages. Just saying, maybe any other page that talks about you. Just saying, that could be an important thing to do. Could be useful for you. All right, before we sign off here, Greg and Ryan, do you guys have any final things you want to say?
Yeah, man, if you haven't tried the keyword tool, definitely check it out. I use it on, I've got your guys' AppSumo deal, and I've been using it, and it definitely has made it easier for me to outsource things to like VAs and contractors. I have a new VA who's come in. It's just been like life-changing. I'm like hardly in production anymore, more so on just strategy and growing the business. So if you guys haven't tried it, definitely try it out. And
that's where you need to be, right? As an agency owner, right now, I think most of my customers listening, probably they're a one person shop, and they're wearing all the hats and they're doing all the grunt work. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's fine if that's what you want to do and that's what you want to be. But if you really want to make $1 million a year or more, if you really want to start making 6 figures per month, which Ryan does and other students of mine in SEO University do, you need to be able to get the production off of your plate, and you need to work on strategy and sales and branding. That's where you're going to bring in the top of funnel and where you're going to get the people coming in, when you can afford to do so. And having an AI do the production work for you and or make it super easy for your VAs or your project managers or your employees to do that kind of work, that frees you up for that kind of thing and what you need to do to get to the next level. You can make 6 figures in this. You can easily make 6 figures in this if you apply yourself and if you put in the time and if you put in the effort to grow your businesses in the way like Ryan and a number of other my students have.
Amen to that.
Amen to that. So thanks very much for listening and watching, everybody. Tune in future shows where Ryan can actually show us how to go into your GMBs and put those keywords in there, how you would do it, what you would do, kind of more of a step-by-step. If you have any SEO questions, please email us. If you need local SEO, by the way, if you're needing local SEO and you need a local SEO guru, have I got the guy for you? Contact Ryan. Ryan, what's your contact information so they can contact you for local SEO?
Yeah, you can find me at Ryan, RYAN, at amazingrankings.ca. We do some pretty amazing things.
Awesome. He certainly does. So I would like to thank Ryan for showing up. I'd like to thank Greg for being here, as always. And so, guys, SEO, the old way, is just going to keep getting harder. You need to incorporate AI. You need to get to the next level to produce and chunk out those pages that are at a high quality level. There's AIs that can chunk out pages at a low quality level. That's not going to help you rank anywhere, right? You need an AI that can help you produce pages at a high quality level. Other AIs don't even measure it. We are the ones that have the proprietary kind of measuring for the heat scores that'll tell you whether you have the subject matter expertise and you should be ranking in the future. So guys, get in on the ground floor. That price is only going to go up. Keep watching for the super amazing things we're going to do. And now let me see if I can turn off the OBS without destroying the world.